The second day of our excursion to Alaska saw us exploring Fairbanks and the Chena Hot Springs. Our first stop in Fairbanks was the Thompson Cultural and Visitors Center, a place for gathering, discovery, and education made possible by cross-organizational, multicultural partnership offering visitors services, public land information, cultural programs, and exhibits which showcase the history and seasonal flow of local lifestyles. It is named for Morris Thompson, a Koyukon Athabascan whose career included civil engineering, the director of Bureau of Indian Affairs, and CEO of Deuton Limited, one of the most profitable and stable Alaskan Native corporations. His extraordinary capacity for open communication and diplomacy made him known as a bridge between cultures. The exhibits include flora and fauna of Central Alaska, Native American cultures, the exploration of Alaska, and the geology of the area. On the grounds of the center is the Walter and Mary Ellen Gould cabin. The cabin provides a glimpse into the early days of Fairbanks. Here on the edge of the bustling gold rush town, Mary Ellen cooked on a wood stove, carried water by the bucket, spent evenings with her husband reading or sewing. Like other homes in early Fairbanks, the Goulds kept their cabins small and simple for ease in construction to minimize the amount of firewood Walter had to haul for heat and cooking. This cabin marks one of the few from early Fairbanks that remains on its original site. This sign shows the high water mark of the August 15, 1967 Chena River flood. The flood was caused by heavy rainfall and the overflow of the Chena and Tanana rivers. The Fairbanks Antler Arch serves as a tribute to the region's wildlife and the hunting traditions of Alaska. The arch is comprised of over 100 antlers of differing types, all woven together, preening towards a center skull that acts as a keystone for the piece. Mainly taken from moose and caribou, the horns were donated by hunters and farmers across the interior of Alaska. Our next stop was Pioneer Park, a 44-acre historical theme park located in the heart of Fairbanks, Alaska. Park commemorates early Alaskan history with multiple museums and historic displays. The Harding car was built in 1905 in Chicago, Illinois, and carried passengers until 1945. It was donated to the city of Fairbanks in 1959 and moved to the park in 1965. The Harding car, also known as the Denali car, is a train car that President Warren G. Harding rode in when he came to Alaska in 1923 to drive the Golden Spike for the Alaskan Railroad. The Golden Spike signified the completion of the 500-mile-long line. Harding was the first president to visit Alaska. The SS Nenana is a 5-deck stern-wheel paddle ship. It was built in Nenana, Alaska, and launched on May 1933. She could carry both passengers and freight. Nenana had accommodations for 48 passengers on her saloon deck. Up to 300 tons of freight, including 2 tons in cold storage, could be carried on her main deck. Most of the ship was undergoing restoration when we visited, and only the cargo deck was open. The Nenana carried passengers and cargo on the Tanana and Yukon rivers from 1933 to 1954. The cargo deck had multiple dioramas on display of how the towns that the Nenanas serve appeared during its service. The Nenana is the only surviving wooden ship of its type and was for this reason declared a National Historic Landmark in 1989. Although the interior has been substantially altered, important features such as the engine rooms have remained intact. This 1898 house was the home of Judge James Wickersham, a legend in Alaska who brought civility and law to the wild gold rush towns of Eagle, Fairbanks, and Nome. After climbing Denali, he also helped lobby for the creation of Denali National Park, was a force in Washington, where he persuaded the federal government to build universities and railroads in Alaska while giving the territory legal rights. The house was in the Wickersham family until 1984, when the state purchased it. The White Church at Pioneer Park was the first church built in the interior of Alaska. It was constructed in 1904 on the corner of 7th Avenue and Cushman Streets. Prior to the church being built, a missionary of Rampart, Alaska, Dr. M.E. Krause, gave sermons when he came to the new gold mining camp of Fairbanks back in 1902 to 1903. The first services were said to have been held in Marston's Saloon on 1st Avenue. What is now known as the Palace Theater was at the turn of the century Golden's grocery store. The Palace Theater produces vaudeville-style shows that are performed every evening. The show pokes fun at the early Fairbanks history and the pioneering lifestyle. We returned on day 3 to see this show. We had a quick lunch at our hotel, and then headed off to the Chena Hot Springs and Aurora Ice Museum, located a little over an hour's drive from Fairbanks. The first thing we saw on arrival was a DC-6A propeller aircraft named Good Grief. It served as a crucial lifeline between Chena Hot Springs and Anchorage for 62 years, flying between the two locations. The plane was retired in 2016. The Aurora Ice Museum opened in January 2005, bringing a unique vision to life. It was created by 16-time world champion ice sculptor Stephen Bryce and his wife Heather, a 7-time world champion. They aimed to build a year-round ice environment showcasing Alaska's ice art. The museum uses over 1,000 tons of ice and snow, all sourced from the Chena Hot Springs area. The museum is kept a chilly 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Upon entering, we were provided with heavy parkers to keep us warm during the visit. The first room in the museum is a studio where the Bryces create their sculptures. This area is well lit. Among the sculptures are plants encased in ice. The gallery itself is lit in colors which represent the Aurora Borealis. Here you can see a sculpture which represents DNA. Here is the Big Dipper pointing towards the North Star. One of the highlights in the museum is the Aurora Ice Bar, where you can get a drink called an appletini, a chilled cocktail that complements the surroundings. Unfortunately, the bar was not open on the day that we toured. The Chena Hot Springs are a system of thermal mineral springs. The Hot mineral water emerges from the ground at 153 degrees Fahrenheit, and cold water is mixed in to bring the temperature to about 90 degrees. The outdoor soaking pool is rock-lined, and it was common to see ducks flying in and swimming beside you. Unfortunately, my GoPro did not save the videos to the micro SD card, and I only have the single photo. Thank you for allowing us to share day 2 of our Alaskan vacation. Stay tuned for day 3 as we pan for gold at gold dredge number 8, take a trip down the Chena River aboard the paddle boat Discovery 3, and see the Gold Heart Review at the Palace Theater.